Hello everybody, Mr. Young here. I live quite a bit of ways from my job, about 2 hours. In fact, I live out in the country. If you look around, you can actually see I live on a couple of acres. And my job is a little bit outside of Chicago. So, my family and I decided to move out into the country, but I still had to work in the city. I'm an automotive technician, a master technician by trade. I also teach for Lincoln Educational Services. Well, since I live so far away from home, I might as well show you my secondary home. Yes, I'm a teacher who lives in a van. Well, first of all, let's start off with the master bedroom. What I have here is a twin-size bed that I made out of plywood and 2x4s, and I put some brackets underneath there to kind of hold the 2x4s up. And I sleep on a foam mattress, but the foam mattress was too big, so I cut off about 4 inches off of the foam mattress so that it would actually fit what I create here. So just 3/4 plywood and then the 2x4 brackets to hold it up. So I have 5 legs on here, 2 legs at the end and 1 leg in the middle so that it doesn't sag too much. I would have put 6 legs in, but I need my toolbox because I'm always working on people's cars. So this is one of the toolboxes that I have. And this particular toolbox I got from the junkyard. I think it was out of like a luxury car. And I can pull it out. Here's my knee pad. Gotta have a knee pad when you bend down and get on things. I don't know about you, but I'm not gonna tear my knees up. So, it's got little compartments here. And I got this at the junkyard for about $2. And I got my impact gun here, cutter, battery tester, drill, bits. And then I'm always throwing different parts inside of here, depending on what I'm gonna need for the week. And so that tucks real nice underneath my bed. All right, so that just slides under and tucks in his little spot. This here, this is one of my most important tools when I'm helping people, is a scanner. So I have to go and read codes and diagnose things for people who are having trouble. So I tuck that underneath there, and I take this everywhere with me. Now in the back here, I pack my clothes for the week. So I'll have my clothes in here. Then I have my pail. I know nobody talks about this sort of thing, but there are times when a man's got to do what a man's got to do. But anyway, that's an old toilet seat from the house years ago, right? So here's how my back looks. So depending on the type of work I'm doing that week, whoever I'm helping, I'll carry whatever tools I need for that particular job that I'm going to, or jobs. So I have my basic stuff. A lot of the tools that I put in my truck are my cheaper tools. I don't want my expensive stuff in here just in case somebody breaks in and takes all my stuff. I'm not going to lose everything that's expensive. So I've got all my cheap stuff here. My fancy stuff is at home in the garage. So this is my jump pack. Don't leave home without some type of jump pack. I've had this jump pack for like 10 years, I think. Still works. We start cars with this. By the way, do not do this at home. I am a professional. Okay. Ouch! So that's how we will start a car. Somebody threw this in the garbage. This is a torque wrench and it's broken. But look at how big it is. So it makes a great breaker bar. So I can't use it for torquing, of course. But man, that's a good ratchet. And I use this all the time. I keep it right there. Tuck this in right here. Now there are times when I go to the U-Pull-It auto salvage yard in order to harvest parts. So I'm always harvesting parts at least once or twice a week. So depending on what parts I'm going to get, I will decide what tools I will need. So I will use this toolbox here, but let me show it to you a different way. I'll show it to you just like I'm going to the auto salvage yard. So first of all, I don't want to carry the tools because they're too heavy to walk around the auto yard like that. So I'll use that. Then I'll put my tools like that, and then I'm able to roll around wherever I have to go in the yard. So when I'm chasing parts down, and some of these yards are really large, they're like 10 acres, some of them. And so I have to be able to move around efficiently. And I don't want to be carrying a bunch of heavy tools around while I'm looking for parts. So I got everything I need for the quick stuff and the type of work that I do. So I have a tank in the back of my van that actually hold on to fluid. So I always ask the students that I'm working with, if I ever show them my van, I always say, hey guys, what's inside of the tank? And then they say, is that where you go to the bathroom, Mr. Young? And I say, well, I'm not sure, son. However, maybe you should smell it. And if you could smell it and you understand what diesel smells like, you would smell diesel. So this tank here holds a little over a gallon of diesel fuel, the stuff you put in a truck. Because I sleep in the van summer and winter. So even when it's below 0, I can keep the van comfortable, usually right around 80 to 90 degrees. It gets so hot in the wintertime that I have to crack the windows. Let me show you my heater. Okay, so in my van, I have what's called a bunk heater. A lot of truck drivers use it. That's why it's diesel. I have a heater that will burn about, I would say about 2 quarts a night. If it's really cold on low, it will burn about 2 quarts. So take a look at my heater vent down here. So I have a vent that comes outside of the heater box, and I ran the tubes this way. So this faces towards the front of my van, and then this tube leans towards the back. So I'm heating the front and the back together, and this runs off of 12 volts. And I run it off of an auxiliary battery. So that battery there, I can run my heater for almost 24 hours before I would drain that battery down. So while I'm driving and doing my regular driving, this battery will be charged up. But when I go to sleep, I am working straight off of this battery only. That way when I wake up in the morning, I don't have a drained battery. I put my bunk heater underneath the seat because I didn't want it to take up any room. And I also had to drill holes underneath because I have to have a fresh air intake and an exhaust. In fact, you can take a look and see how it exhausts out. I had to drill a hole and then put the exhaust of it out. When it's time to go to sleep, depending on where I'm at, sometimes I sleep outside of my job. A lot of times I go down to the local Walmart and sleep. Sometimes I go to the rest area, like an Oasis, which is about 10 minutes from my job. And so when I park, I try to make some privacy. Well, first of all, when I saw this van, I was real happy with the tinted glass because I can see out, of course, but you really cannot see in. So that's cool for the back. But for the front, I have some curtains. So I found these on Amazon, and they actually have little magnets in them. So little magnets will stick up there. So before I go to sleep, I put my curtains up. When I saw these curtains on Amazon, somebody gave a review and said These curtains make my car look more luxurious. I am so glad I have curtains that make my home look more luxurious. Well, time to put in the front windshield cover. So on my seat right here, I made the seat go backwards further. Nobody really sits in here. So if you see these screws here, my seat is supposed to be bolted onto these two screws here, giving me 4 points to hold the seat. So sometimes I have to sit here and do things if I'm reading, working on my computer or whatever, and so there's not enough leg room. So I moved the seat back in such a way that it gives me lots of room with this seated area, because now I've got to get ready for bed. So I have my wipes, okay, or I use diaper wipes. Diaper wipes, a man's best friend. My wife told me to get antibacterial, but I don't think I need that. I have my toiletries here. And a lot of times I don't shave during the week, so I have a beard, so I kind of don't have to shave. But I have all of my toiletries here, and I always have fresh toothbrushes. So I use 1 toothbrush a day, and then start fresh, and then at the end of the week I'll have 5 toothbrushes that I have to sanitize. All right, so here is my heater. So if it's cold or gonna be cold, I will fire up the heater. So right now I'm at 12.4 volts on that battery, so that's pretty good. And I'm gonna fire up the heater. So I simply hold this. And it's set to go. So it's gonna take a while for it to set up and start to burn. Right now we're pumping the fuel back from that tank, and we're setting up. And if you notice, my voltage went lower because there's a glow plug inside of the bunk heater, and it takes a lot of electricity to get it started. Once the burn starts going, it uses very little amperage. I would say less than half an amp as it's running all night. Hey, it's warm already. All right, so I'm getting ready for bed in a few minutes, so my phone, of course, but when I'm talking on the phone, I like to wear a headset so I can just talk all day without any distractions. I don't know, let's see what's in the medicine cabinet here. I got some oil for my face and beard. Let's see, hydrogen peroxide, never know. Hey, what else is in here? Hey, deodorant. Wait a minute, that's woman's deodorant. I like it. Made for a woman, but I like the pH. I got my baking soda, something to keep the feet nice and fresh. I don't know about you, but I'm ready for bed. So that's how I live during the week. So you've seen my van. I actually found this van on Craigslist for $1,200, and then I did some fixing up just to keep it running. So I've had it about 2 years now. When I created the bed, my wife told me to get a nice soft foam bed. I took her advice, and she promised one day that she would come and stay with me one day. She never has. If you guys could leave a comment below and tell my wife how nice my bed is, maybe she'll come out with me just for an hour. Would be good enough for me.